Hi there, Malcolm here with my 327th Booktube video, and today I'll be bringing you a surprise book haul. Some of you may know that my wife works in a bookshop, and so there are certain book-related benefits thereof. One of which is that they are able to request advanced reader copies or ARCs from the publisher, and in this case one of her co-workers did it on her behalf, knowing that I really enjoyed the series, and that is Children of Strife by Agent Tarkovsky, book 4 of the Children in Time. What was a trilogy is now quadrilogy. I have done an overall review of the Children in Time trilogy as it was. I'll leave a link to that down below. Be sure to go check that out. I had heard inklings that there was going to be a fourth book. Here it is, and at 678 pages it is freaking massive. But don't that look pretty? Nice purple colour. We seem to have some sort of growths growing out of the rings around this planet. The book won't be out for general release until the 12th of March 2026, and it will be this wonderful turquoise colour. If you want the purple one, you need to get hold of an ARC copy if you can. So what's this say? Long ago, humanity terraformed worlds under the auspices of irascible genius Avrana Kern. But Kern had rivals, who took one world from her remit and reshaped it in their own image. After the collapse of their society and long generations in the wilderness, humanity's desperate return to space relies on ARC ships heading to worlds they believe, or hope, their ancestors made into welcoming homes. Some seek out the mysterious world of Kern's rivals. Later, a ship with a crew of maverick humans, spiders, and a mantis shrimp captain named Cato rediscover this world and its lost ARC. The human Alice wakes up on board to discover that she, Cato, and their ship's version of Kern are the only crew left. The others departed to explore, and now all contact has been lost. Traumatised Alice and belligerent Cato must rescue the one surviving member of their crew from the surface before she becomes a greater threat than anything the world itself can produce. Sounds pretty cool. I've loved the trilogy so far, and I do think Children of Time is a really good entry point for those wanting to just dip into science fiction, something they're not that familiar with perhaps, whereas later books in the series are a little bit more serious in the science fiction aspect. But really excited to have a copy of this, and hopefully we'll get to read it before March the 12th and to tell you all about it. That was a nice surprise. And that one she came home with yesterday, and she actually bought this one. It was payday and she went a bit nuts. And that is We Are Legion, We Are Bob by Dennis E. Taylor. It's a lovely hardback edition with Bob, that's a sprayed edge all the way along the edge there, and the top and the bottom are on the bookends. That's the one at the back, and I've a foily shiny cube embossed on the front there. So a really nice edition of the book as it is. So what's this one about? Welcome to the Bob-verse. We are Bob, we are Legion, and we never intended on this. Bob Johansson had a plan. After selling his software business, a leisurely retirement awaited him, and if the cryogenic lab freezing his head succeeds, an even longer retirement in the distant future when his corpuscle gets reawakened. Everything was looking up for Bob, that is, until he's killed crossing the street just moments after signing the papers. A century later, Bob wakes up, not in a utopia, but an Earth on the precipice of war. America is run by an extremist government. That sounds a bit far-fetched. That stripped his rights as a frozen head, uploaded his consciousness into an AI, and selected him to search space for habitable planets as a self-replicating von Neumann probe. It's not ideal, but if he declines, he'll be switched off for good. With Earth in turmoil, space may actually be the safest place for Bob, but the government failed to mention that he isn't alone. At least 3 other countries are looking to claim the next Earth, and they play dirty. Using his new AI abilities and the von Neumann technology, he does what any engineer would do. He makes more Bobs, and a virtual cat, and sets to save humanity before it's too late. Now, it claims to be for fans of Douglas Adams and Terry Pratchett, of which I am a big fan of both. Part space adventure, part philosophical voyage, We Are Legion, We Are Bob is a captivating and hilarious exploration of the joys and dangers of artificial intelligence, the wonders of space, and everything that may await us out there. So a fun science fiction duplication story. Now, the last one of those I read was Mickey 7. However, that duplication was an accident. This one sounds a lot more deliberate, and possibly the sort of thing that would cause the rules that came into place in Mickey 7 to have come into place. So yeah, really looking forward to reading this one. And at 302 pages is a much thinner book than the Agent Tarkovsky one. I know at the back there's also a timeline of events of the story. I'm not going to read that in case of spoilers, but Bob wakes up. It's the first bit, so I'm not going to read any more of that. So that's a nice little bonus as well. And fan that I am of Audible, and certainly my experience of Dungeon Crawler Carl is second to none. There's something special about having a book where you have the artwork, where you have the maps or the timelines or the extra little contents that you just can't fit into Audible. So there you go. I know it's had book haul. I mean, the 2 books constitute a haul. I mean, I certainly wasn't expecting it, so it was definitely a surprise. I think this is a book I have looked at on occasion thinking, I quite fancy that, but I'm being good, I won't get it. And it's been got for me, so that doesn't count then. And a free ARC copy, so yay. So there you go. Do either of those interest you? Which one should I read first? Comments down below, please. But as usual, if you have nothing nice to say, then please keep it to yourself. Thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and other YouTube things if you want. Until next time, see you later.